like an old poetry book jacket. What are you pondering about?
A new routine that I was thinking about, but it's not field tested. So it's something I normally don't do, is tell somebody a non-field tested routine. So I better not do that, because it's something I need to internalize and get the timing down. But once I do get the timing down, when I tell it, you got to get the timing down yourself still.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Every joke has that timing thing, and it takes 6 to 12 times of practicing, you know, a new story to be able to convey a sense of confidence when you're saying it.
The first time you tell the joke, it may hit.
Yeah.
The second time you tell it, it may not.
Right.
What's the difference?
Timing.
Timing.
A comedian can go up on stage having said a joke that hit with his friends, and it may bomb.
Yep.
And then he may blame the audience, when you should be blaming yourself, because it's the timing. It's a different timing with a larger audience. Delivery. Timing and delivery.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And material.
And material.
You know? There's a routine, you know, the spells opener?
Mm-hmm.
Classic one from way back in the day.
Absolutely.
I pulled it out of my game for many years simply because everyone else was using it. Right? It was something I was teaching and got popular, and sometimes routine, you know, it saturates the crowd. At least every 4 years there's a new crowd coming in, so you can bring out old material and they've never seen it. Like magic. You could do a piece of magic that is an old piece, an oldie but a goodie, bring it back, modernize it, and it'll still hit. It's still amazing, right?
Absolutely.
And it's like that with routines as well.
As long as the key components of those routines are there, like the humor, the release, the stimulation, the captivation.
That's right.
They're timeless routines. There's a reason that we can still, if we were to go in with all the routines that we were doing a decade ago, they'd still hit.
And they do.
And they do.
And they do. So what I've done is the spells opener, instead of using it as an opener, I'd use it when I hit a wall or a point where there's some quiet or a lull. Like for instance,
like a default response.
I don't just have a default opener. I have a default routine.
Right.
It's something that I can freely use. I've done it for years, guys. You know
that.
You know.
I have it as well.
And then I stopped doing it, and so I found myself introducing it into a set. Like for instance, when you bounce girls into a car and you're driving to the next venue, there may be a little bit of that tension, that fear, which gets released, of course, when you get to the next venue and they pop out all safe and fine, right, in a public gathering again. But until that point, you may have that awkward pause.
Yep.
And that's when I can say...
Especially if you're not in a limo where there's screens or enough stimulus.
Yeah, there's not enough stimulus.
You're in the Uber with...
And so you want to break that tension, right? Even with the taxi cab driver, you want to know that you can communicate.
Absolutely.
You know, that's hard enough, is to be able to subdue our emotions.
The more demonstrations of communication abilities and levels that you can reach, the more she feels, wow, this is that guy.
And it's kind of used as comfort material.
Yeah.
Right? Because we open with it, not telegraphing interest, so it's an indirect opener that you can use later in set, right?
Absolutely.
So there you are, you're in the car, and there's that awkward pause, the girls are sitting in the back, right? And my view of comfort, because you're in C1 or C2 even, now that you're bouncing into a car, that's a C2 location, mid-game.
If you've done it right.
It's mid-game,
right?
Yeah, if you've done it right. So how do you fill the void? By having a default opener for when a void in the conversation or a lull in the conversation takes place. You just have a default routine with which to throw in, and I've been using the spells opener or the spells routine in order to do that, because you have a captive audience when you're in the car, right? You have to fill that void.
They're forced to listen.
They're forced to listen.
The consequence of you not having material for that scenario could be the difference between losing the girl.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
If she's not stimulated by the time she gets to your place, it's like, wait a second, what happened to the fun? Where did all that go? Now we're getting serious. We're switching into romance.
I ran out of material.
Oh God.
Right.
Yeah.
Some people will say that, as opposed to having the solution to that problem prior to your arrival to the venue. Right. Another thought that I had regarding this though was comfort is really, at least according to airlines, is the lack of discomfort. They're not concerned with making their customer comfortable. They're concerned with making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Yep.
So if you have discomfort, they will come to help you with a resolution.
Right.
Right? That's what we do.
Right.
I think
Absolutely.
I bring
That's what we do best.
comfort to the world. You do have to grind. You do have to work hard. You do have to open sets. You do need to curve that learning curve upward, right?
And fast.
That's right. It's velocity. It's momentum. By doing a lot of sets and letting the last set assist you in the next set, letting last night's set assist you in the next set, letting last month's sets assist you. Christmas is coming up. Everyone's going to be doing Christmas parties. If you're not, well, then you're maybe needing to take aside 10, 15 minutes in your project list, your master projects list.
The end of the year list that needs to get accomplished.
But you have Project Bash.
Yep.
You know, are you having a bash this weekend? You having a bash for Christmas? Are you having a bash for New Year's Eve? Do you want to? Do you want to participate in all that silliness humanity has to offer? You know that we're here half of the time it's just to entertain each other. Going out for a lot of people is very scary.
Yeah.
Right?
And
you get anxiety, and it's
shouldn't be.
not supposed to be. It's supposed to be, you know, a bunch of cold people huddling and sharing some laughs and drinks, you know, for good times. We're building lives by spending time with each other.
Yeah, people overcomplicate it, right?
Right.
It can be so much fun to go out to a venue, and whether you're going to a nightclub or a lounge or a bar or you're gathering, a social gathering with friends, it can all be fun, and it all serves a purpose for the ultimate goal, which is to get a skill set.
To build the skill set is the goal.
If you're not building the skill
cold approach skill set, be able to grind in that way, open sets
across the room
that don't know you, that have never seen, that don't even know of your existence prior to them looking at you. The first second they see your face, should have a smile on it, because it's the first second they're being introduced to a new spirit. Right?
Not smiling in field can get you blown out.
That's right, because they will side on caution. That may even create a threat. A person bumps into you and you turn and they're not smiling, you make it an adrenaline release, versus someone who's smiling. You know, apologies. You know,
or
you get a lot of stories here in Toronto.
Even worse, the guy that is so in his headspace about what am I going to say, because he hasn't worked on his material, he hasn't polished off his delivery, and he's in his head when he's out in field, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, I got to open.
What's my opener? And then beep, 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 walking back over the shoulder, right? Because I heard over the shoulder.
Crab walking.
Crab walking. We've seen some bad roll-offs. A roll-off is where you are done that moment of talking, and then you can just take a breather, you know, lean back, take that roll-off, even with your eyes,
and let it hit.
Let it hit. Let them breathe. Roll off. Let them, create a little bit of a pregnant pause. Not an awkward one, a pregnant pause. Let them fill in the void rather than you feeling a pause in the conversation, and then they have to fill it. Or worse, it just ends.
Done. Yeah.
Right? Do you know what time it is? 7:30? Oh, thank you.
That's where most guys run into that first sticking point,
yourself.
Right? It's like, I never have things to say.
Right.
I run out of material. I run out of things to say.
There's a riff line. That's the way I view it.
Yeah.
It's a riff line. And you know how to riff. You've done it before. You got to do it in field.
Absolutely.
Because that's how we convey our personality, right? So if you can't stitch sound bites together to keep running the conversation,
remove yourself from it and adapt the skill sets that you're going to need so that when the situation happens,
that's
you're
what
there.
debriefs are for.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you're driving home having had a shit night. Are you beating yourself up over it and then not wanting to go out the next day?
Oh, I didn't get that one girl.
Oh, I don't want to go there.
I didn't get that one girl's number, so forget that place.
Yeah, exactly. Forget that place. Right? Don't bring your baggage to the club. You got your friends with you, right? Everybody's trying to have a good time, right?
It's true.
We're just being systematic about it. We're going to ensure a good time.
Just the same way you don't bring
open properly
your baggage to the club, you also don't bring your successes to the club. you allow the successes to assist you with the next set. You can't just think, oh, because I had a great time last night, I can just come into the club and expect it to
be great again.
All be great again. Yeah, you have to go and create that.
A good night may not transfer over to the second night. You know, maybe those people are busy. They can't. You met them on a Thursday night. You're gonna invite them out Friday night, but they can't make it. Now you're like, oh, my work has gone into that Thursday night. It's no big deal. Let go of your outcome. Know that you have a skill set that's being developed by every single set you open, even if people dismiss you. If you are being dismissed, then it's your game. It's not you. It's just the way you presented yourself. Usually, you're not smiling. Right? This is what I'll be saying to you guys this coming weekend.
Conveying too much interest. That's body, not letting them know that you're not there to stay.
Not doing this roll off. This is earlier, you know. This is not a roll off. This is body rocking, right? This is not body rocking.
Side to side
body rocking is where you're acting as if you're about to walk away, and then you're just adding one more thing, right? And it looks like you're really going.
Yeah, you have to.
Oh, by the way,
you have to.
Right? And it'll hit. The people will feel much more comfortable because you are demonstrating that you can see that they're uncomfortable. And you're not going to stick around because, hey, these people look kind of uncomfortable.
You're a high-value guy. Why would you stick around?
Exactly. You know, but you have one more comment to make, and that continues the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Oh, okay, by the way, before I get out of here, and then you can stack forward, right? The false time constraint, it isn't about building comfort. It's about removing discomfort. That's the purpose of the false time constraint. That's the purpose of an indirect opener. It actually is to remove discomfort.
Because by default, even though it's indirect, the fact that you're just simply engaging is interest.
Is interest
so
enough.
You have to balance it out with some disinterest.
That's right.
That's what it is.
That's right. And that's what a neg is, right? It's active disinterest. It's not passively being in another room saying, you know, I'm giving off the vibe. Right? The room's feeling my vibe. Right?
I'm just putting out the vibe.
I'm putting out the vibe. Yeah, she's in the other room. I don't want to show too much interest. Right? Does she know you exist? Not yet.
I'm working
on that. I just gotta finish my drink, get in the other room, and then walk across the room and open up that 10 set.
I'm gonna tear it up, man. Just wait until I get there, man. Don't worry about me, man. I'm gonna tear it up when I get in.
The other option is to just humble yourself and realize that, hey, no one's perfect. You may screw this up. Every set is gonna unfold in a very unique manner, very different from that which you expect. Usually they go way better than you expect.
You know, when I started out, I used to always think to myself when sets went bad, it was always like, you know what? I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry.
You're apologetic for approaching. Sorry to bother you.
I'm sorry that you had to go through all these bad routines that weren't polished because I was learning. But you know what?
It was worth it.
I'm sorry, but it's for a skill set. It's for a skill set that's going to last me a lifetime, that has lasted me a lifetime and taken me all around the world. And I've introduced people to other people and have been introduced to people, and it's taken me to a magnitude of levels in life.
It's like a set of keys.
Yeah, and it's like, for me, it was just like, you know what, I'm sorry you had to go through that. But this is not about you, right? It's about me getting my skill set. So sorry, I'm sorry.
Everyone has an agenda going out to an event.
Yeah.
You know? Some people are trying to sell you scalp tickets. Some people are trying to get in the club. Everyone has an agenda.
Some people are in the club and they're wanting to go home.
They're wanting to go home. Some people are in the club and they're not ever wanting to go home.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, you have lots of reasons to get out of the house. You come up with an agenda. My agenda for getting out oftentimes was, if it was a free night, I'd go out anyway.
Yeah.
You know, it would be a free night for me to train. And that's what I would tell people. Where are you going? I'm going out to train.
How many guys have we talked to and they're like, yeah, you know, I've read all the books, I've seen all the videos, I've been following you guys for years, but when was the last time you got out of the house? Oh, probably like 4 months ago, 3 months ago.
Not even when was the last time you had a girlfriend. When was the last time you tried?
Yeah.
When was the last time you got blown out?
It boggles my mind.
You know, 3 months ago you got blown out. That long ago, 90 days of staying at home, that's a little bit too much.
Or even worse, going out and not opening. When you know that you have to open.
Right, because you're in observe mode.
You have to open.
There is no observe mode. The observer taints that which is being observed. Always. So your presence there is going to change it. It's going to change it for the negative if you are in observe mode.
Absolutely.
Where you're just standing there with your drink on high, fucking it with your straw.
Social wanking, as
Discovery says. Social wanking. Fair. Any other thoughts that we wanted to share?
I mean, there's a consequence of not opening, right? There's a consequence of going back home and realizing, oh my God, you know, I had everything within me to just walk up to somebody and strike a conversation, yet I let the approach anxiety, or I let the outcome of that set.
Yeah. All backwards rationalizations that people substantiate in their head as to why it didn't happen, as opposed to tomorrow is like Groundhog Day all over again. I'm going to go into a time machine, go back in time, and relive that day, because you can. Every weekend is the same weekend.
It's the same club every city.
Every city,
every
right?
City is the same club, right?
So, in your opinion, what do you suggest people do in order to accelerate and get great at this game, from your viewpoint?
For me, it comes down initially to two things. It's the commitment to get good, and also believing the material, and believing that you don't have to be apologetic. You don't have to
don't apologize for sex.
Ask for time. You don't have to say, hey, excuse me, I have something to ask you.
Right.
You don't have to ask permission for anything.
Yeah.
All you have to do is get into set.
Right.
3-second rule, into set.
Right. You can create the illusion of instant rapport.
Yeah.
By behaving as if
you've always known them.
You've always known them.
Yeah, absolutely.
As if you've known these people before they were born.
In fact, if you aren't getting the, I know we've just met, but it feels like I've known you forever, chances are you're not doing it right.
That's right. Something's wrong.
Something's wrong
when they don't say something like that.
Yeah.
You know, when you're into set 25 to 40 minutes,
feel comfortable.
You should be getting some unique IOIs. You know, some ones that actually are showing that you are committed to be interested in them. Right? That's really what triggers that.
Absolutely.
But you can't do it on the open.
Nope. Can't do it on the open. That has to be, you're buying time.
Yeah.
Right.
The first 3 seconds buys you the next 10, buys you the next minute, buys you the next 3. Now you're locked in.
Now you're locked in.
And that buys you another 3, 5, 10 minutes. I mean, it can buy you 10, I would say 10 minutes easy by being locked in, right? Or at least 5 minutes before I move them. You know, multiple venue loop or multiple move loop. I'll move the set, merge sets, right? You got to get good at each of them, and to do that of each of the phases, including a move, a time bridge, bounce, those jumps. Those are all phases too. You can't neglect that. You got to focus on those. Crazy is you can't focus on a time bridge and practicing time bridging, getting a phone number, right? You don't go for numbers anymore.
They happen naturally,
right?
You know?
They just, it's easier. They just happen. Once you get good at something that you can use, and it works for you, then hey, you want to tell your friends that it worked.
Absolutely.
And that's all I'm here to do, is tell you guys, I've uploaded into my brain a whole bunch of material that I've tried and tested. As of you, right?
Absolutely.
And the shit that didn't work, we would disregard. And the shit that worked, we would polish. And then we'd start teaching others and see that, hey, it works for me, but it doesn't work for them. And then I hang out with them until it worked. By working on the actual timing of the material, the delivery. There's a cadence to it. There's a way of speaking that's a little bit different in a nightclub environment than it is here. We're allowed to talk quickly, right? But in a nightclub environment, it's different. And that's what we're going to focus on this coming weekend, is exactly how to captivate the entire group with the material that you're using to convey your personality. Hopefully it's going to have some DHVs built into it. You know, you want them to treat you with respect, and the word that pops up into my mind that has been more important to me more than ever is grace. To
pickup is graceful.
It's graceful.
It should be a graceful interaction. It shouldn't be you're trying to extract something from someone. It should be a mutual interaction where both people benefit from the high value entities that those people possess, and that's what it's all about. If we're not pushing each other to be better, what's the point of even opening, right? We're there to stimulate. We're not there to bring them down. That's why we have to come in with equal or higher energies, because anything less than that, it's like, you're bringing us down, man. I don't want you here. So
this is it's a dance club, not a sit and question life club.
This isn't question time at the local library. But yeah, there's for me, there's, you know, a consequence that comes with it is the fact that when I didn't open, I know I went home and I beat myself for like a couple of days. Like if I saw that one girl pass by And I like, especially like after reading all the stuff, it's like I've read it already. I know what I technically have to do.
That's right.
But
what kept me from doing it?
I'm not
Usually
doing it.
It's momentum.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's momentum. It's getting you started. It's like working out. You know?
Yeah.
If you could say that I game 4 nights a week, 4 hours a night for the last 6 weeks.
How can your game not be
how could your game not get better? Right?
If you're practicing perfect, right? If you're practicing as if you're practicing for the sets you want.
That's right.
Because that's what most guys don't do.
They don't train.
They open a couple sets that, you know,
for the future.
They open the sets that are comfortable. But like Discovery says all the time, it's like you have to get uncomfortable with being comfortable.
Yeah, I've learned that the uncomfortable ones were the ones that were the most fun. And
you
productive.
learn more from them. You learn the most from them. They're usually the ones that, because they're uncomfortable, you tend to let go of wanting to have it be important, so they end up going a little further.
Yeah, it's like this one isn't going to work anyway, so I might as well just
it's like
open
we always
the set.
say, like
let's find out what not to do.
Right. Our game is designed for a high value set.
Yeah.
It's not designed for a low value set.
Respectfully,
right? But if you're approaching the sets that you know are going to work, what are you really learning?
Right.
I would rather much get blown out by the high value set than it work with the low value set.
I'd rather succeed. Right. I'd rather fail with a 10 than succeed with a 7.
Yep. Absolutely.
That's
absolutely. And unless you're pushing that every night, you know, holding yourself accountable. How many sets did I open? How many sets were 8.5s plus?
And if you're having a shit night, change rooms.
Yeah.
Start again.
Yeah.
It's like
absolutely.
a comedian, you know? When they're amateur comedians, yucks, some of these guys do 2-3 shows in a night, maybe even 4 shows. They just drive to the different venues. In their headspace, that next show is just the third one of 4 today, and tomorrow he has another 4.
Absolutely.
With that momentum, it's very different than having the 1 gig 2 weeks from now.
Right.
2 weeks from now he's going to do a gig, and now he's all psyched up. And then if that gig goes bad, it's 2 weeks till the next one. You have no time for that. You have got to go faster.
Absolutely.
It's not about the more girls you pick up, you game, the more you'll get. It's not that so much as it is about the more you game, the better you'll get at it, so that you can technically game less. You can remove the pain out of it.
Absolutely.
If you focus on traumatizing yourself early in a safe environment, right? With others. If the guys are out with us, come on. You know, we're going to put them in they're in good hands. You'll be in a good headspace. This is not just a short-term psych out, you know, to get yourself all psyched up. So, hey, I've got the courage to open now.
That's what the problem is, right? It's like a lot of guys go on boot camps and they go back home and they can't recreate the magic that happened on the boot camp because there was so many factors that went into creating that magic. You know,
That's
it was an emotional state. It was the coach being there and all that.
And multiple sets merging, and there they are, you know, a week later in their own home city, all by themselves, starting from scratch again. And it can be hard to get that ball rolling up into a hot game. You know, in all the different levels of game that can get you get you a life. Get you a social circle, get you a friendship circle.
How do you make things happen unless you have an action plan, a game plan on what you're going to do once you get to that point, right? Because it's one thing to come on a boot camp, but does the boot camp all of a sudden, you know, you go back home and your life is now picture perfect, you're now driving the Ferrari, you got the mansion. No, nothing changes. It's you just made the first step at acquiring a skill set.
Right.
So you
I think it's a good step.
You have to hold yourself accountable. It's a great step. It's the step that starts everyone that's benefit from this game has started with that step. So it's one thing to go on a boot camp and then feel the emotional high of going into it, and then find another boot camp, go on that emotional high, find another boot camp, then do this, then do that. Or you make a decision to go to a boot camp and then get good at the skill set.
Yeah. It's not about making seminar junkies. It's not about that. It's about getting you out in field with the material that you need to convey your personality and your life and your lifestyle. Put your best foot forward with proper material. Know when to say it, right?
How to say it,
delivery, material, and it all comes together in field.
Yep.
That's the beauty of it, right? We do change work. right? I see the change in people in as little as a couple days, really. Yeah. By the second night, right? By the third day seminar, these guys have traumatized themselves doing at least a dozen sets a night, if not more.
That's how the 5-day fast track started, right?
That's it.
Because we realized that like a 2-day boot camp, for some guys, it gave them the training wheels. Yeah,
it got what it is? You know what I call it? And this is why we named it this. There's an impact in 2 days.
Impact, absolutely.
Right? If you want to do a fast track, you want to do 5 days. We don't do them too much, but we do them, right? 5 days, it can burn you out. Boot camp,
it's tough.
Right?
It's tough on us. It's tough on
just don't
on
bring
clients. Absolutely.
Bring your baggage to the club. You know, the next set will wake you up if you're tired. By the way, that's not an excuse. Oh, I'm tired. I don't want to go up.
And if you're tired,
gotta go up.
And if you're tired, you should be approaching harder sets because then definitely.
Exactly. The enemy of the best is the good.
But yeah, like you realize, 2-3 days in that there's just so much transformation between, how a guy would approach a group of people from 24 to 48 hours ago. Yeah. It's a night and day difference. And it's like, if you can duplicate that like we have for years and years and years, you realize like the material is what's...
In a strange way, I'm almost getting used to it. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of people that I taught. A lot of people that I actually spent time with, really is what I want to say. Because all I do is, focus on this. If it's not handled in someone else, I find myself talking about this topic because it's fascinating to me. A change takes place, a change where they're very appreciative. Right?
Absolutely.
And I'm grateful for that I can offer something that I've found something unique in this world.
It comes to a point where like...
And gotten great at it. Gotten great at this.
High value girls are a normality.
Right.
It's no longer, oh my God, we got some cool girls around us. It's like, yeah, we got some cool girls around us. And it almost becomes harder to find high value guys. So think about how many men we've changed their lives, how many guys we've met, and how many cool guys that have come along the way. And that's like... That to me is what inspires me the most. It's like we can affect guys and change an area of their lives that causes them so much, brain space and just thought process, and it consumes them. And it's like we can take you in a short amount of time, just change the mentality.
Who's your wingman? Right?
Yep.
Because a wingman can derail you, can step on your toes in field, right? All that has to be handled.
Throw you under the bus.
Can throw you under the bus, right? But he can also get you laid.
Absolutely. A good wing should. A good wing should.
Right? So wingmanship is going to be something that we'll definitely demonstrate in field.
Absolutely.
Because you're not alone. We're usually working in groups, right?
Most guys go out. They go out. And they stand side by side and they just look around and they're the observers and
holding their drink.
Holding their drink. They don't engage with each other. They're not having fun with each other. They're just simply there to just consume space in the club.
Right. And leech energy.
Like how many times have we rolled and it's been me, you, Discovery, and we'll go with no girls, and just because we're there and we're shooting the shit and we're being absurd.
When everything's against us, you know? When you're by yourself, you think you have it bad? Wait till you're hanging out with 8 dudes, and it looks like you're huddling for warmth like the others, right? They don't know your superpowers
unless you're engaging your friends, right? You have to engage your friends. If you can't demonstrate that,
turn to them. In fact,
turn to them, engage.
The girls over here, it's over the shoulder. Talk to them. You're turning to your friend more than you are to the girls, as opposed to turning your back.
Yeah. Well, most guys do.
Girls, like I see that all.
Now that I got the girls here, it's forget you. I'm here.
Right.
Like no, you have to demonstrate that you value your wing, because how can you truly value her if you don't value the people that are already in your life?
Very fair.
Right. If you're not at the point where you're valuing your wing, it's because you're essentially not at the high value mentality that you should be at. Because any guy that, like you, if a girl was to come in here, my attention is not going to be drawn to her. We're having a conversation.
Right? And subtly in the back of your mind, you know that DHVs are uploading, right? DHVs are uploading by your
and I think a lot of guys lose a lot of girls like that, because like the girl, they can open successfully, they can have everything going well, and then as soon as their wing, whether he's conscious of game wing or not, comes in, they completely just keep him isolated, almost like you wouldn't do with the set.
Right.
But to demonstrate that you value your wing, and it's like, oh, hold on a second, let me talk to him.
Yeah.
It's a demonstration of value in her eyes, because the lack of it will turn her away.
That's exactly it.
So it's do you have a good wing? I have one of the world's best wings.
I could fly like magic. Thanks. Appreciate it.
We've been out. We've done some stuff around the world.
And guys got the chance to see it.
Yep.
You know, absolutely. So it's kind of like a double impact, not only for personal gains, right? Good times.
Absolutely.
But also for others to be able to observe that and then integrate that new knowledge. It's like watching pick up live. It's
different than
some people are impressed by it.
It's like you know, you wanna learn how to play tennis.
All right.
Right? You can watch as many tennis videos as you want.
Exactly.
And you can read all the tennis books in the world, but once you get a professional tennis coach behind you,
right,
your swing's a lot different. You know?
Exactly.
What did you always?
It's getting someone outside of the situation to look at it with new eyes.
Yep.
Right. And hopefully there's a brain behind those eyes. Right. Not all eyes are the same. Some people have an odd number of eyes.
The third eye?
It can happen.
I know.
Crack that third eye, wake yourself up, get out of the house, and get into the game.
There's a curtain behind all this stuff that people call interactions and social interactions. Right. There's a curtain, and if you were to pull the curtain aside and see that there's ways that you can not leave things up to chance, but have more control over your outcome by presenting your best self. Yeah. It's as simple as that.
That's the way to go.
Absolutely.
That's the way to go. Don't fear success. A lot of people do. That's what prevents them from opening sets.
You were saying before to Tony, our coach, that the game is a lot more painful.
Right.
What's
it's 100 times more difficult than you think it is, and 1,000 times more rewarding.
Absolutely.
And that is the truth.
Absolutely.
It is a lot harder. So whatever grind you think that you're in, right? You went to that last gathering and it was shitty, and now you're feeling down. Just recover, soldier. Shave, trim down there. Some guys don't do it. They're like, oh, I'm not getting any this tonight. What are the chances?
What are the chances?
Right? Well, guess what? If you do trim yourself down there, then like holly above you, it may just appear, it may just happen. A woman may arrive into your life, and next thing you know, you're getting your junk touched.
I know.
Oops, did I say that? So just be prepared for success. Make yourself feel sexy. Make yourself feel presentable. You know,
absolutely.
If your pants are staying on, if it's a Christmas gathering or a holiday gathering of any sort, you're going to increase your chances.
Right.
If you leave the house prepared to win. And it's not just for grooming.
Most guys beat themselves down, right? It's like they create a self-fulfilling prophecy of, oh, nothing's gonna happen tonight. Right. I just wanna, you know, I'm not really focused on anything right now. You know, I'm just going out and having some fun. Right. It's like, no, you should be focused on getting the skill set. You should be focused on success. You should be ready for it. You should welcome it.
It looks like you're standing around having too much fun.
Yeah.
Right? So that's when you say to them, let's work that next set.
Absolutely.
I'll demo it if necessary. If you want me to take the set before you work it, go for it. I'll show it a demo. But otherwise, open the set. Let me from a distance.
No one's immune.
Exactly. We're all equals on this good earth. We're all equals in the club, right?
Yeah. I've had guys come up to me and say, "Yeah, you know, I did a boot camp with so and so, and you know, he really didn't open any sets. He was more like, oh, this is about you." And it's like, yeah, it's totally about you. But unless we can demonstrate and stand behind what we do, right? You know, what are we really doing?
Yeah. Well, it's balanced.
Absolutely.
Every boot camp's different. You never know how the universe is going to unfold for you on a boot camp, meaning that some venues, it's hit and miss.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we'll go in, check it out. If we make the assessment that, yeah, this isn't going to pick up in a favorable way, well, bounce.
Go to another venue.
Right? We may even use that as an opportunity to prematurely bounce. If it's dead, we could tell others, hey, party's coming with us. You're more than welcome to tag along.
Yep.
Colgate will be there. Right? And yeah, you can pull to a better club. That's how we do it. It's all about focusing on the number of sets that you do, not for a better chance of getting any girl, right? But rather for a chance to practice and have a relationship with the different phases of the game. Get good with the phases, and then in the future when a woman of particular quality comes along, you'll have the skill set to get her.
Yep,
right?
that's it.
Just
that's it.
Train, like learn and go. Learn and go, train and go, right? Learn and train and use it, and then learn and train and use it in a cycle.
Build the plane yourself. As you fly it.
Update the computer after you've bought it.
Build the plane as you fly it.
That seems difficult, man.
Nah, man. You get it off the ground, you know, just enough to fly, and then you got to add on the other parts. You can't wait till you have the perfect plane to fly.
That sounds like asteroid mining. We're gonna land on an asteroid. We're gonna build.
I'm gonna have my moon boots on.
I got my moon boots on.
Gravity boots.
I got an idea. Let's go throw a burger down our throat.
Fair. Done. It's been
Cheers,
fun.
guys.
It's been a pleasure. Burger time.
Burger time. Toronto. Oh, December 15th to the 18th. Show up. We'll see you there. Catch up to speed in a game we love.
Things will change for you.
Cold Approach, Xenocool, Attraction Magic, Mystery, Colgate.
3SR.
Get out of the house.